The Oka Resistance, also known as the Oka Crisis, was a 78-day standoff in 1990 between Mohawk protesters, Quebec police, and the Canadian Army near the town of Oka, Quebec. Here are the key points about this significant event. Background. The conflict centered around the town of Oka's plan to expand a golf course onto land that included a Mohawk burial ground. This land, known as the Pines, was part of a centuries-old land dispute between the Mohawks of Kanesatake and the Canadian government. The Mohawks had been pressing for recognition of their right to this land since 1761. The standoff. On July 11, 1990, a police raid on a Mohawk protest camp sparked the crisis. During the initial confrontation, a Quebec police officer was killed. Mohawk protesters erected barricades, blocking access to the area. The crisis expanded when Mohawks from Kanawaki blocked the Mercier Bridge in solidarity, affecting traffic to Montreal. Military involvement. On August 20th, the Canadian Armed Forces were deployed to replace the Quebec police. Over 4,000 soldiers were sent to the area. The standoff ended on September 26, 1990, when the remaining Mohawk protesters surrendered. The golf course expansion was canceled, and the federal government purchased the disputed land. However, the land was not established as a reserve, and the underlying issues remained unresolved. The crisis brought national attention to Indigenous land rights issues in Canada. It inspired other Indigenous communities across Canada to take action. The event has been linked to later movements like Idle No More. The crisis led to the creation of the Royal Commission on Aboriginal Peoples. The Oka crisis has been extensively documented in films, books, and art. A famous photograph of a Mohawk warrior facing off with a Canadian soldier became an iconic image of the standoff. The Oka Resistance remains a significant moment in Canadian history, highlighting ongoing tensions between Indigenous peoples and the government over land rights and sovereignty.